She was my superwoman and MacGyver rolled into one. My mother, who at the age of 17 started a teaching career. She was gifted with intellect and compassion to nurture young minds and hearts. She raised 6 of us on her own. I was the youngest, and she convinced me that capacity is just about how far you can stretch. In the photos, we only could take pictures of each other separately because we would move from humble abode to even humbler abode without having those keepsakes. And how do you hold on to it if it's something that you cannot touch physically? So we took pictures with our hearts and with our minds, and that's what we treasure today. Our family, my 5 siblings, have 5 of everything. 5 dysfunctions, 5 disappointments, 5 heartaches, but exponentially so. They also have 5 giftings, 5 powers, 5 levels of tenacity, and 5 levels of perseverance. I used to watch one outfit of mine hang on a communal washing line, and I feared that if I blinked only once, it would disappear. My 9-year-old self hung onto that one outfit. But these washing lines are stretched from one prison cell to another prison cell. Havakwa, Klein Drakenstein, Robben Island. These were places I spent a lot of my time. But the place I spent the most time was at Paulsmoor Prison. They say it's a new beginning. It's the start of new beginnings. And it was so for my brother Wayne. A part of me stayed there. A part of me was locked up there. And a part of me was released later. I am so, so proud of where I come from. So even though I'm in a senior leadership position in corporate SA, every Heritage Month I don a klopsige. And I say, this is where I've come from. And I want to remember where I've come from so I know where I'm going to. Because my mantra is, it doesn't matter how deep your roots are planted, someone's going to see it. And if you're not proud of those roots, it doesn't matter who you know or what you know. It's about what you do with who you know and what you know. And that's the blessing of disadvantage. You cannot be the same again once you've traveled the road that I've traveled. And so 135 children, 5 adults, 3 buses, 1 cinema theater, 140 McDonald's meals, 136 slushies, 136 boxes of popcorn, and I made the impossible possible. I rented out an entire theater so that children could experience a movie theater for the first time. I collect everything, all your second-hand things, the things that you think are trash, I turn into treasure. And what we do is we have you declutter so that we can turn the declutter into 3 times the joy. That's someone else's declutter that's bringing joy to another part of the community. And we repurpose everything. This is a fancy pair of stockings I bought on my maiden overseas trip in Krakow, Poland. It then became 3 things. 1, a holder for leftover soap. 2, a pom-pom to tie your longer hair. And 3, my fail-safe, bad hair day. Can't beat the GHD, Swalcoast. I walked in these shoes in Sandton for an entire day. I had meetings with senior VPs and VPs. I got to the hotel room and I realized I was wearing ompaarskoene. The reality is that if you've been blessed with disadvantage, you can make anything trend. Suddenly people were thinking. But by far my biggest flex is that I'm a stretcher bearer. I lift the burdens of others because I've been burdened myself. I can look into the eyes of a homeless substance abuser and see a special person. I can see worth. I can see my brother Wayne. That's the blessing. Because despite the dysfunction, I'm now part of a functional unit that is caring, that has love, that is creative, that is insightful, that is inspiring, that can flow lyrical genius from one generation to the next. I rapped the other day over my son's own rap. He's metaphorical and he's wonderful. And he's taught his little son, Eli, that he can write his name and draw a stick figure, but with the freedom to rap behind the beat and have a stick figure and a face that has no nose. Who says you can't dance to your own beat and that you have to wake up to smell the roses? We squish our noses because we've smelled victory, we've smelled joy, and we've smelled challenges. And we know that the challenges have a time limit. This too shall pass. It shall pass. And that's the blessing of disadvantage. You know it doesn't last forever. And that the tide will turn. And that even when it's really difficult, when you have to bury your loved ones, when you have to do the unbucket list thing of choosing a coffin for a loved one, that you don't bury your dreams. It doesn't matter what the circumstances look like. We still dream. We still dream. We soldier on because we know this is not about us. We've been through it. It's now about the many outfits that I can wash and watch on the washing lines in my own backyard. But it's no longer for my benefit. It's for the benefit of others. And I repackage it, repurpose it, put it in a nice format, and then give it to people so that they can benefit from my disadvantage. That's the blessing. And the crowds come. They come. And then when we serve them as a family, they ask us, why? Why us? And we answer them with another question. Why not you? Why not you? We have come to serve you because we have only one message. And that is, no matter where you've been, no matter what you've done, no matter how deep you think you've sunk, no matter the mistakes that you've made in your life, we've got one message. You are loved, you are loved, you are loved, you are loved. And we never leave you the same way that we found you. So even if you have to leave carrying it on your head or over your shoulder, or perhaps dragging it with you, or just having it in your heart, you're going to leave with something. Because what we've been gifted with, we pass on to you. That's the blessing of disadvantage.